Do address the wild, though.
Well, after an impact like last game, they're going back to more of their default, just going to ban out cheesy heroes in their book and just try to play a strong game.
Yeah.
A lot of players right now, and myself included, feel like Legion has a little bit of advantage a lot of times when it comes to the drafting phase. Having 2 first picks is you sort of control the pace of the lineups. I mean, it's hard to get out drafted when you have 2 first picks.
Well, back over to the final lock. Okay, it is going to be Rally coming out here with the final one. So yet again, a very strong lock pool. You got plenty of initiators, those strength heroes. You got Wretched Hag, which both these teams definitely love to run, even in different style of roles. Suicide Zion, then Carry Haxerin, but we'll see him perhaps make an impact. Oh, go ahead and do the chat disconnecting just before. There we go.
Master of Arms still in the pool right now. Obviously, I always keep my eye on that with the Ophelia. Keeper of the Forest is banned out, so you don't get that goo on top of the root combination. Deadwood banned out as well. Still, when it comes to, well, the Pebbles lock, obviously, as you mentioned, is there, sort of a little bit Deadwood-esque in his burst damage. Fade not available. Magnus is still available. We're not going to see him banned out. Mirax is still available. I'm not really banking on anything like a Silhouette or Draconis lock. Teams are just not favoring those picks lately.
Complexity banning the Zephyr there.
Yeah.
Again, they know how strong it is, especially in tdM's hands, and didn't work out for them. So Master of Arms a final ban.
I thought they had everything going for him, Matt. The Ophelia, the window in which she's strongest isn't that, mid-game, or the mid-game. That's why I talked about I liked how teams are framing more mid-game lineups around her, but they did not press it. They did not press it. And Tempest in the late game with that Hammer Storm, just huge, huge, huge. Bubbles picked up here with Wretched Hag locked up. That's pretty interesting. I like it.
Yeah, definitely valuing the bubbles there. And again, you mentioned the Wretched Hag being locked up. Complexity does tend to run it more of a short lane hag, so still very possible for them even. So response chance from tdM now.
More likely that if it is drafted, it would be in the hands of Trademark. Still getting one of those, blink initiator options.
Yeah. Bubbles brings quite a bit, as we've seen before, many of times. In fact, I think he's actually, well, at least in the more recent cycles, from what I remember, the stats that have been gathered, I think he's actually the most active or the most popular hero in competitive play, as far as actually being picked up, I should say.
Really, just highest numbers per game.
I think so. Yeah, it was him, and I think it was like him and Aluna were up there. I know, so. Yeah, he was definitely up
Midas?
There. Not who?
Not Midas?
No, Midas, no. God, Midas had his time, though, man. Remember, that was, what, 2 DreamHacks ago, I think?
He did, but he also received approximately 100 nerfs, so...
Somewhere in that range.
Yeah, I like the Aluna pickup. We talked before. If they wind up getting Pebbles here out of this lock pool, say they get like an Ophelia Pebbles, if Complexity chooses the first, or a Tempest Pebbles, either way, pretty damn strong. Also with the rallies, the Aluna with those burst damage heroes, also with the Pharaoh, I like the synergy with the red power throw.
Yep, that free codex, as you say, coming out here for tdM with that pick. So.
I mean, it is substantial. Just creates a lot more map control. Looking at what's remaining here, they're going to have to grab their support option. Glacius is still in the pool. Heroes like Empath as well, obviously, but less likely. Torture, what's Torture's status, actually? I'm trying
to...
He's there. They've been picking up a lot of Torture lately. Wouldn't be surprised for them to grab him again.
I know they like to run the Silhouette. Haxerin plays Silhouette frequently. Silhouette's win percentage was awful, Cycle 6, but that was a stat that stood out to me.
And that's a lot because of the lineup she was going up against. They just never really let her grow and overwhelmed her. Still a really solid hero, I'd say, but teams are finding more effective ways to deal with late game lineups.
Yeah.
There's the Glacius and the Torture.
Okay. Interesting. Going with both of those. Obviously, with those two, definitely lean towards more of a Torture farming role here.
Yeah, they have 2 options here, and that's where they go for dual lane setups here with Torture and Glacius on support. Bubble solo and 2 strong dual lanes, or more than likely this will pick up one of the strong junglers and run Torture in more of a farming role.
So the Monkey King, we saw that I think it was game 2 against TT Esports yesterday. Was played by Zai, and that was the game that they came back to win eventually, and ultimately lead them to the victory of the series, of course. So Tempest first pick right off the bat. Ophelia, Wretched Hag, not even thought about it as the response, and now Complexity has those 3 choices to finish off with here.
Yeah, I mean, probably my guess is the Pebbles, but I wouldn't expect to see Hammerstorm. I wouldn't like to see Hammerstorm. I think Pharaoh can screw him over quite badly. Pebbles, maybe a rally, but I'm leaning more towards Pebbles still.
Hammerstorm's your best late game carry potential.
Yeah, but not when you're against a Pharaoh. There's even Monkey King can flick him back and forth, throw out Shrunken Head. It's just going to make him hard to do his thing. I wouldn't like to see that at all. And obviously they grab Pebbles, so that is good. I do like they got that. You see tdM pick up Monkey King a lot because they run him in these. Once again, you won't see any other late game hero usually alongside when they run Monkey King. I mean, they just have a lot of mid game pressure. And the thing is, Monkey King in himself, he obviously his early mid-game burst potential.
Yep.
People overlook the fact that he carries like crazy when he's stacked out.
Yep. Again, we saw yesterday against CTE Sports. He eventually got the Genjiro amongst everything else, and he was wrecking face, so bursting down very, very quickly. So yeah, going to be played. He's been played by Noob G this time, though. By the way, Zai is playing his go-to Suicide Hag. No, actually, not going to be Suicide Mode. Oh well, where is he going to go? Actually, will it be short lane up here?
We
have a
talking about Zai here?
Yeah, Wretched Hag, because Pharaoh will probably be long.
Yeah, we'll probably just run the Monkey King of Luna, the
Okay.
Suicide Hag Pharaoh.
Hag's actually.
No, actually, they don't need a Suicide Hag this game. Oh, they're giving her the pulled regen so far. Pharaoh does not, so would make more sense still for them to have that Hag top probably and just have Pharaoh hold in there. No need to gimp the Hag if you don't need to.
Yeah.
And he can lane with that extra regen. He can harass Bubbles pretty effectively.
I was gonna say,
see if Bubbles gets pulled regen of his own. So just based on how that's shaping up, for sure we're gonna see this Hag top lane.
Yeah, and he does. Nope, no pulled regen on him just yet. He wasn't able to get the ward of sight on either. Was Bubbles, that is. Being played by Riser here, actually. How about that, by the way? That's kind of interesting. You got Moon Meander on Tempest, and then Riser playing the Suicide Bubbles. Usually would be the other way around, you would think, but.
Well, I mean, Moon was sort of known for his Tempest long time. People were criticizing some of Riser's Tempest plays in Complexity for a while. I know Moon plays Tempest very well. I know Riser plays Tempest very well as well, but maybe just a little bit of comfort for this game, figuring they can do each role just a little bit better, and so maybe what they want to go out with. They're both flexible players. Also, makes it a little bit more confusing for them to predict where lanes are going, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
Not really, though. I mean, they don't really have an option on Complexity.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the lanes that they're going is pretty much what you could have guessed. So, with that said, you got your Pebbles Glacius mid. Again, the Bubbles is suiciding top. You got Tempest in the jungle, and then Torturer in that short lane here. That gets your Pharaoh. But yeah, the Hag getting the pooled regen. Again, Bubbles didn't. Hag got plenty of pooled regen, both tangos and a health potion. Yeah, I mean, Bubbles could definitely, especially when he starts leveling up the Shell Surf and the Song of the Sea, can get some good burst damage and even get those kills. So that'll definitely allow Wretched Hag to be more free to harass herself, cause issues there. Middle matchup: Glacius Pebbles versus Monkey King Aluna. A very interesting ward of sight placement off the bat from Fitski. I mean, on his own ramp actually, just helping to get more vision along the river as well as up to over here, of course, but. Kind of
I mean, I've seen this matchup before. It ended out in favor of Pebbles, as a lot of these mid matchups do. Tanky enough. Glacius combined with Pebbles, especially above all else. If they go on the Pebbles, he has one of the biggest lockdowns of any mid supporter, and that really does allow for that turnaround potential. Luna not so much. She has the great harass, but not so much the lockdown. So if they go on a hero like Pebbles, they have to make sure they can just completely get rid of him, or they have additional gank support.
Yeah. Well, definitely going to keep the camera most of the time on the middle lane. Because, yeah, I think it's safe to say the action could definitely happen there. How about this top lane? Net going to be used on the Bubbles up here as Midas and Ophelia runs into him. Yeah, you do see Riser quickly falling back, though, just going to eat some trees. And he'll be more than fine. Bottom rune being protected by Tempest, not going to spawn. Glacius, though, protecting the top rune. It's just a regen, however. Not the biggest deal in the world. And you even see him right there throwing out a random Tundra Blast just before he picked it up, as maybe figuring Ophelia might have been nearby so to get some damage output, knowing that he'd get full mana. So, kind of a small thing again, but...
Just those little bits of pressure, too, that Ophelia is putting out into the bubbles, giving the level advantage to the Wretched Hag, and the pressure now is just creating such a huge lane advantage for Hag that she's just going to, even left alone now, going to absolutely dominate bubbles. Yeah, I kind of feel bad for him. He has to hang in there, but Minus is doing an excellent job laying out the harass with his Skeleton King.
Yeah. Struggling time for Bubbles, as it usually is. He's just the kind of one of those heroes that finds himself in that role a lot.
If he gets levels, he's still ultra effective. Pharaoh is having a bit of a better time, though, is the one thing that concerns me for complexity.
Yeah, Pharaoh's just over 200 gold per minute himself down there at the bottom lane. Torture in the meantime having the better time, 12-4, but Pharaoh's 11-1, so it's not much difference there.
Talk about Tempest counters as well. Pharaoh is one of the premier ones that comes to mind. Not only the fact that he can use it to interrupt it, but if he sort of catches Tempest out in a fight, ulties him, mummy walls him, they don't have a tablet yet, I mean, he's not going to get into a good position to cast it in the first place.
Then there's always the Ophelia. Yeah, it's difficult yet
it's
again.
like two
Tempest
angles.
game for Moon Meander here, playing the Tempest. 3.5 minutes in now. How's this middle farm breaking down? Pebbles 18-2, Monkey King 12-3. So Pebbles is winning this matchup when it comes down to creep farms. Would be good. Of course, playing the Pebbles once again, just like he did game 1.
Right, not like Monkey King's going to absolutely dominate, and I like that he's playing it safer. I told you I get worried when I see them try to make plays against the Pebbles because the first turnaround. You know, with a rune, maybe like a double damage, a haste at that point, sure, maybe, but.
Speaking of that, Aluna's actually protecting the top end right on command. It happens to be a haste rune. He's going top with it. Bubbles, there is no vision here for the Legion team, but he's going to turn around and go back towards mid instead. Bubbles was already playing somewhat passive, so not going to be able to apply the pressure up there. But yeah, there's definitely no vision, so maybe if the creep lane was pushed up right there, they could have gone for a kill. Riser's going to be fine, however, and instead the haste rune on Aluna, we'll just use it here in the middle lane. Not really too much, though. Still knows that if she gets caught out, obviously, would be very, very deadly in the combination as you're stressing. So still wants to play safe. So again, 4.5 minutes in, continuing to be a fairly passive game here to start things off. You do got a Tempest versus Ophelia jungling farm. How's that shaping up, by the way? Tempest is looking good.
He's winning, but it's not like monumental so far. It still takes a little bit before it snowballs. Ophelia is doing just fine. We see rockets coming out from Limp as well, aiding the middle lane. He's using that Tormented Soul whenever it's up at this point.
Yeah,
yep, another one.
That's true.
Keeping him harassed. That's very annoying to deal with.
Hit the level 3 Tormented Soul, and there you go. Hits both of them, I believe. At least Glacius.
Yeah, for a while it was more of a pub strategy. I feel like that you'd see that done, and then eventually sort of found its way.
Riser going to run right into Ophelia right here. The Minotaur, no, the Catman champion nuke. The Minotaur stun will hit. Is it enough burst? Oh, a nice shell support. Disjointed the last auto attack. The Minotaur getting close enough. The Minotaur not going to get close enough. Actually, Bubbles using the takeover, but the auto attack connects, and down goes Riser. Oh, that was so close right there to escape. A great play from Ophelia.
And at this point, they're going to push up the top lane really quickly. They have the double creeps from Ophelia. Can use the Catman Stomp to kill the wave, and here comes the tower push.
Yeah, Wretched Hag level 6 on top of that. She actually did go the Bat Blast too, by the way, at the level 6 mark. And going to apply that pressure to the tower. You do have Glacius kind of coming over. Nope, he's now heading back towards mid. There is a regen rune that's going to spawn once again. Not the biggest deal in the world. Unless maybe he protects it for Pebbles, who does have that bottle on him, which it looks like he is. Nope, he's just going to pick it up. Not worth the time. Top tower easily falls, though. Zai gets credit for it, and this Wretched Hag already having a great time. That on top of it. Now 385 gold per minute, so off to a huge start here for Trademark Esports.
Yeah, and didn't really need to invest too much time to do that. It was really quick, seamless gank. Nice tower push. And yeah, we saw Bat Blast on Wretched Hag. The only time you don't see is when they choose to level up Pond. Obviously, he didn't need it for his laning phase this game. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, Zai is normally pretty much beast mode on Wretched Hag, even when he plays at Suicide. The fact that he has at the start of the game now a 400 GPM, and he got to lane the safe lane in this game is kind of scary.
Yeah. Expect it very early on Hellfire at this rate coming out from him. So you have your Monkey King as well, who actually, the biggest thing is staying alive, and on top of that, he has 300 gold per minute actually. So he's got his Steam Boots finished and Mystic Vestments picked up. You know, you compare that to the Pebbles, only 240 gold per minute right now for B-Kid. So Monkey King definitely coming out on top here in the middle lane right now. when you look at the farm, actually.
Right. Well, part of that, the rocket spam definitely assisted them. Also, the tower push. Also, the fact he actually opted to go Steam Boots this game. A little bit of adaptive pickup. You see Monkey Kings go those Ghost Marchers a lot.
Yeah.
For this game against the Pebbles, against his line, they figure if he's strong enough to stay alive, he has the vestments, he has the Steam Boots, it'll be just fine.
Tempest actually coming down here to the bottom lane. Going to pick up a Homecoming Stone from the side. You see Pharaoh already falling. He's just way back here. Limp doesn't want to risk anything. Going to instead stack his Ancients. Might as well make use of a time here, knowing that he could have possibly died if he stayed down there. So, again, doing a good job there, making the best of his time. He's also level 6 on top of that. Bubbles is also level 6, even despite that death. And now Riser is able to pick up some decent farm here, as a result of, of course, the tower being dead and the creep wave being pushed up. So, expect those TPs, though, to come into play, perhaps. Bubbles does have one, so does Pharaoh. Definitely could set up either some kills or even counter kills. Both are great for those scenarios. Middle lane, are they going to initiate? Pebble's kind of going back and forth. No, it's pulling the creep wave.
I think he's tanking. If he has enough armor, enough HP at this point where if he's to go, Pebbles is not going to do much, even if they sort of counter it.
Tempest still just chilling here in the jungle.
I received a note. I didn't even know it was possible. I guess there was a ward placed on their own ramp, and I guess that was so that Monkey King could vault over it and potentially get an initiation.
Okay, yeah, I mentioned, yeah, so I talked about that, but I just figured, okay, wow, if that's the case, that's actually pretty crazy. I guess that might make sense. I mean, Tempest, in the meantime, is going to get caught out right here. Hellfire is applied. You see Monkey King doing his Monkey King thing, pushes him back into Pharaoh. Nope, not going to be enough. He'll fall shortly after. Aluna going to try to get killed by Conquer. He will be successful right there. And now Pebbles in no man's land. Going to use the Stalagmites, barely staying alive for the time being. Bottle Charger's going off right there. Monkey King is chasing, but Pebbles in a horrible spot now. Sono screen coming out. Down he goes. Meanwhile, Riser will pick up a kill down here onto Ophelia, actually. So finally, Complexity gets something out of this. They get the one kill, their first one of the game, but now they are in retreat mode. Wretched Hag chasing. Will she actually blink in? Probably not. But definitely Trademark Esports coming out with the best right there.
Yeah, two very important pickoffs for them. Especially on the Pebbles. They need to keep down the Pebbles as much as possible. Right now, 200 GPM. He's not going to get to not going to get to have that normal huge impact we see. I mean, we see sometimes these Pebbles, they get the 9-minute portal key, and sometimes even then, their portal key effectiveness is mitigated. In a game like this, sitting at 200, they need to make some big team fights happen for him to sort of get back into this before it's too late for him to really get those easy kills.
Yeah, and that, that starts with Haxerin, really. Haxerin on Torture here. He is having a very good time himself. 342 gold per minute currently. Obviously won this lane down here and continuing to farm away. Has another 1,300 gold saved up. Again, curious. He does have the Ring of the Teacher, so will he go that Gnome's Wisdom build, or Tablets obviously popular on him in this case too, so see what Haxerin decides here.
Well, another thing for Pebbles that's going to make his life harder, the portal key's going to come in later. He doesn't have Steam Boots even finished yet. They have the Ophelia heal, leveling up quite well right now. Already has level 1 heal, and then the Pharaoh counter initiate as well.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, the fact that he is only farming 214, no Steam Boots as he talked about, he is actually going to finish him right there, but yeah, needs to even now work towards that portal key. Bubbles reacting in time at this top lane before he gets caught out. Ooh. Speaking of Pebbles, though, might try to pick up some kills right here, but no. Ophelia and Wretched Hag, they just Spider Sense the Stingray. Maybe they're missing mid, got them, and they're going to fall back. Yeah, real quick, I mean, again, that Ward of Scythe in the middle, which was here, that does make more sense, because, yeah, I was kind of curious about it. You would never really see a Ward of Scythe.
Yeah, I actually learned something with that. I mean, part of the cool thing about this is you see all these, you get to see all these players do these little things, and there's so much to know mechanics-wise regarding the game. That was a really nice, tricky play they tried to pull off.
Yeah. Obviously didn't really make anything of it, but still,
no, but
the idea's
still
there.
Another one of those next-level plays we like to point out.
Yeah, learn together. Zai making a reaction right there. I happen to be catching on camera. He completely whiffed a Bat Blast. It was actually pretty amusing, not going to lie. So, having some fun, though. He is having a good time, obviously. His team's up 1-0. But,
yeah,
definitely making a mistake right there. As he almost had a free kill in the Bubbles.
Turns out, Zai, there's a chance he might be human.
Go figure.
Confirmed, but
right, yeah.
something I'm working on.
Ooh, heavily Vulcan abuse right there by Monkey King going for a kill on Glacius. Pharaoh comes in as well. The Hellfire comes up. Glacius will fall. Pebbles off to the side, just out of range. Tempest all the way going to pull an ult 3 right here. Torture coming in with that chain reaction. They'll fill it to the party. There's the agonizing boss. Now Palmas activated. Torture doing so much damage in the midst of this. Pharaoh and Aluna fall. Monkey King is going to be able to run away. Ophelia did use her heal already, so Monkey King and Ophelia live, but that set up beautifully for Complexity.
That's exactly what they need. That's exactly what we're talking about. Their teammates getting involved, creating a little bit of a team fight turnaround to give Pebbles the room to sort of get back in here and grow. That was a ginormous ultimate coming out from Moon Meander, and the timing was just beautiful.
Yeah. That was huge, huge, huge.
I gotta give him credit in both these games too. I said Riser MVP of Game 1. I also saw Moon Meander making tons of big plays on Magnus that game. I mean, it is very clear just how badly he wants to go. He's playing his heart out.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Again, both of these teams, no doubt, yeah.
He really truly is delivering in this series.
But, you know, only one of these teams can go, unfortunately. Going to be joining Stay Green, obviously, as they qualified in the first qualifier, very deservingly so. Looks really good in that one. So, and of course, he's even winning the last Hontour cycle. But this game, I mean, again, Haxray, I mentioned him, the impact that he was having at the bottom lane when it came to farm, and obviously if big plays there, setting up after the Tempest ultimate. Without Torture, you know, Tempest ultimate would have been nothing, so.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't given him enough attention either. 370 GPM versus Pharaoh's 170. It was even for a bit in lane, but he had a lot of room to sit back and sort of take over the lane, get his farm up, and yeah, combined with that Tempest, combined with the Elemental Void, clumping them all together, Tempest's Torture, rather, is going to be very, very hard to deal with.
Yeah. Now, it's interesting because, again, he went the Gnome's Wisdom build like I was talking about. We have seen this quite a bit lately on Torturers and farm routes, but it seems like if any time a tablet of command is called for, it's against especially a Pharaoh. So I do kind of wonder about, I mean, do you have any, would you rather see a tablet, or are you fine with the Gnomes here?
If he gets the Shrunken Head in due time, it might be fine. I think Gnomes as the farming steroid is okay, and given the fact that he's farming 370, already had the Ring of the Teacher from the lane, it wasn't a very big investment for him to pick up. I mean, he already had 500, it's a 2200 gold item, he had 500 completed, so about 1700 gold, you know, cost in upgrading it. So no, I do like it. We've obviously seen the impact it can have. Combined with the Shrunken Head, he's going to be very hard to bring down.
Oh yeah.
And right there, we saw just with good positioning, they sort of didn't even need a tablet to deal with the Pharaoh. Just an excellent Elemental Void coming out.
We talked about Zystart and how he would most likely have it early on Hellflower. Well, he's 2 Arcanas down now. So only needs the one more. We're just hitting the 15-minute mark. Going to go for Riser once again right here. Soda Scream comes out, but not really kill opportunity, obviously. Just saying hello, killing some creeps, and falling back
What about Riser, too, man? After that fight right by the Ancients, I mean, he was struggling a little bit. Now he's level 10, the same level as Wretched Hag. Despite a little bit of a suffer start, 250 GPM and almost having a portal key.
That's what you look for. If he's going to be level 11, have that portal key, he's done just fine. I mean, that's what you, you know, that's a good Bubbles game basically for you. So.
Right. And the fact is, we talked about before, even if he's smashed in lane, Bubbles is one of those heroes. There's a little bit of levels, can roam around the map and have still a huge turnaround potential, and it's exactly what he did.
The portal key on Pebbles will still continue to be very late, unfortunately, at this rate, but nonetheless, you know, that is being worked on pretty well now. He has another 845 gold saved up, so B-Kid is trying his darnest to get that portal key.
Keep harassing poor Franzi there with his long-range attrition. He's like, QSQ signature move. Yeah, the Pharaoh, the Aluna, the Fade. There's tons of...
Global presence, man.
Yeah.
Gotta be annoying.
Hard to push against a Pharaoh and a Luna as well.
So we mentioned this would be a tough...
No. Okay. I thought that was about to hit him again.
Yeah, that would have been brutal. He's just like dodging barrages, man.
He's doing what he can for the team. He's doing a great job warding up. I mean, yeah, Franzi's very, very selfless in that role, very experienced, but just not having the easiest time, and I feel bad.
Okay, this is interesting. Monkey King has a Blessed Orb and a Mighty Blade. So, I mean, that's the makings of a Frostal Skull. Something tells me it's not going to be, though. It's probably going to be a Shrunken Head and maybe a Soulstone? I mean, or maybe that Sheepstick? I don't know.
I mean, I haven't really been seeing him build too much of a Nullstorm. I'm looking at heroes. I mean, no, this isn't really a Nullstone kind of game. I mean, it does help for the Glacius Ice Imprisonment. It does help a little bit for the Tempest, I guess. But if he has a Shrunken Head, he doesn't really need that at all. I mean, it could be a Frostwolf Skull if he's just trying to tank up enough and just be a nuisance. Maybe he figures with his high agility, the magic resistance, he's not going to die. Combined with the Ophelia heal, I mean, that or we'll Shrunken Head an ultimate Frostwolf Skull later. Still, he does have the components for it. That is
strange.
We'll find out pretty soon. I mean,
yeah, we'll have an answer. I mean, if he finishes a Frost or an Ice Brand here, then I guess perhaps. But that would, I don't know if I've ever seen a first out of Frostwolf Skull, at least in a while. So that would be something.
Yeah,
but again, it could just be two different.
He's known for not only adaptive item pickups, but also having controversial item choices sometimes. He usually makes them work though, so
yeah.
You've even seen his Master of Arms with that Assassin Shroud take over. And these have been in serious games. It's not like he's doing this in, rolling over team. They're playing against the best teams in the world, and he's making these pickups and making them work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if he is going for maybe that Shrunken Head into like a Nullstone or even that Sheepstick, like I said, I mean, he did go 2 of the items that just help increase his life pool, and against this Legion team, that it can be very aggressive and a lot of burst damage coming out. So maybe that's what he's thinking. I don't know. Anyways, Pebbles with a double damage rune coming in here with the Invis. He's gonna look for somebody. Ophelia might be that. Maybe up here on Wretched Hag. Can he find anybody? Okay, the double damage is off. He still has the Invis, of course. He does have bubbles coming up here. They're going to go for Hag, definitely. Can they get the opening they're looking for? Positioning, there we go. Song of the Sea coming in. There's the opening from Pebbles. That Calphil's even placed down. One more auto attack. Not even necessary. Shell Surf going to be used. And they snipe outside right there. So, good gank setup. And just before that, Franzis says he's tired.
I was going to say, if he's going for Frostwolf Skull, his line of thought might be that if he gets tanky enough, he's going to be able to survive all of this initiation and just sort of turn it around on them. And just, they're not going to be able to run away from him at all. He'll have the event slow. He is going for a Nullstone, actually. So yeah, Nullstone plus Shrunken is the route. One thing that is good about Nullstone on Monkey King is just
the regen.
It's the Runed Axe effect, where if Monkey King has enough regen, he farms one of the fastest farming heroes in the game, honestly. He just kills waves, kills creep camps just like that. So
that's what can make Nullstone such a great item in the end. I mean, especially for ranged heroes. Obviously, Monkey King's melee, but kind of that Rune Cleaver presence as you were talking about. So yeah, I mean, that will be good for him. He does have the Sustainer now, so again, obviously he has a regen. So the Nullstone on the way, it looks like. And hell, he might not even go to be a Shrunken Head. It might still be an Ice Brand into something else. So we'll see what Noob G eventually goes here.
Yeah, I mean, Shrunken Head does seem like a pretty good pickup against Legion, which is pretty much an entirely spell-based team.
It does, yeah. Seems pretty obvious.
If anything, yeah, it's just a farming tool.
Speaking of that,
extra insurance.
It is getting close to Torture having the Shrunken Head, by the way. Again, Hacks are continuing to have a very big impact here. 390 gold per minute. There's the portal key on Pebbles, by the way. So 20-minute portal key, not what B-Kid's used to, but he has it, and it's still the pretty efficient timing. So he can ultimately be happy for complexity, I would say.
I've got to say, it's a little bit of late game protection, too, because even with the Shrunken Head, you are vulnerable to Sheepsticks, to Hellflowers, if they get that PK Hellflower combination. So sort of immune to that kind of set.
Tempest has been going more the team build, by the way, too. The tablet into the Astrolabe. He also went to Plated Greaves even, so.
Yeah, partially for Monkey King, trying to mitigate some of that damage.
Takes down a Hellborn tower!
As well as the team support.
Pushing the middle tower right there. Yeah, every single one of his items bring something to the team. All activatable, too. I always find that amusing. We see it a lot on heroes like this. Ophelia is a prime example. I mean, she'll have plenty of those on top of the minions she needs to control. Gotta have a lot of respect for Ophelia players, man. It's a lot of activating involved.
Shrunken Head is finished on Torture. This could be a point in the game where, like last time, I feel like they're doing pretty good. I don't want to see them drag it out too much. A lot of spell-based damage on their team. They do taper off when it comes to the late game a bit. Would be a good time for them to start fighting.
Yeah, if it didn't seem obvious last game, it seems like it's even more obvious this game. Honestly, you do not have a late game carry, at least that one can compete against a Monkey King and Wretched Hag even. So.
Yeah, I mean, Torture, we've seen him do work, and we saw the Slicks Torture just absolutely devastate, but he had a little more support going on that game.
Yeah.
In terms of carrying the game later on. Yeah, it does seem like pretty obvious that they should probably try to make fights happen. They look like they're building up for it. They have the Portal Key on Bubbles, man. They've got the utility items. Maybe just get some red boots here for Franzi. if he's lucky enough. Someone just throw him a bone. Pick up a ward for him, please. Just let him get his boots.
83 gold per minute, man. He is struggling. They placed another ward aside, by the way, Fitsuke does here in the middle ramp, so kind of in the same area that he did before at the beginning of the game. So kind of going back to the logic of maybe Monkey King can even use that as an object here to bounce around on. Also, it does give vision, obviously.
Full for vision, yeah, of course.
It is a ward after all. Monkey King, he has fallen back, feeling some presence coming, and rightfully so. He is also farming very well, now over that 400 gold per minute mark as Noob G. Going back in here, kind of, but again, the whole team down here for Complexity. So it seems like this is kind of the key of let's group up and push now. Going to be coming out from them.
Yeah, meanwhile, getting the starting components for Burial has the helmet of the victim.
Yeah. No Mystic Vestments. He chose to go that over the Mystic Vestments, actually. Interesting, but once, I guess when you're dealing with the Monkey King.
The Legion takes down a Hellborn tower!
Physical damage reduction is good. As well as the regen.
They're reacting fast enough, stopping the mid push. I mean, they're keeping their tower safe. It was a nice little advancement still. I was curious to see if they'd keep pushing with that illusion, but no. Too much pressure coming out on the side lane from tdM.
Oh, Wretched Hag gonna be jumped up here. Kelfield even coming up. Ports are coming in. Red Luna stun. Nothing gonna happen though. Zai will port away after the side. Shell Surf connecting somewhat, but Pebbles going for Luna set. He chucks him over to Wretched Hag. Chain reactions just missing right there. Bound Eye is on the ground, by the way. I don't know if Complexity is gonna notice that. It's off to the side unless they saw it on her. I don't think they did, or else they might have been going over there already.
I mean, maybe. I mean, they might have seen him on the map. No, they're not going to get it.
Well, they got at least the kill into Luna, and now going to push.
And they made her drop the eye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true.
Sheepstick begun here on Haxren.
Yep. There's the Blessed Orb. Picking up that tool. Ooh, an Invisible Glacius.
Detailing on this Wretched Hag. And they're trying to apply a little bit more pressure. I don't know if they'll have enough support here to turn anything around. Bubbles ultimate is still down.
Jeez. Okay, a lot of towers dying. Glacius trying to open right here. Glacial down. In the meantime, Pharaoh goes on Pebbles. Pebbles chucks him away. Says, "Get off me, bro." Bubbles in the meantime jumping in, but Bubbles will be bursted down. Pebbles with the follow-up, but now Beacon's by himself. Wretched Hag porting out. Bat Blast going to be his Monkey King joining, and Pebbles goes down. So a 2-for-0 exchange right there. Not the prettiest of openings for Complexity. Torturer wasn't able to get there in time. You see Glacius falling back, hits Tormented Soul, does connect. Oh, if he gets red power thrown right here. I think it is on cooldown still, so he's not. But anyways, tdM having the better of that exchange there.
Yeah, just Bubbles' ultimate was still down. Their strongest hero wasn't available. They have the turnaround potential with Ophelia's ultimate, and Zai, man. Once again, the composure he shows in intense situations, I bring it up a lot, but right there, he was down to one hit, and a lot of players playing Wretched Hag, they might frantically like blink backwards, sort of get out of range, still put themselves in an advantageous position to keep fighting. He just blinked just a few hundred range back, all he needed to maintain safety to that ledge. He got another auto in, got a perfect Bat Blast in, and just kept assisting in that fight. So
paid off.
More tight play coming off from Zai.
Yeah, I mean, that was no doubt big, though. I think that actually stalled a lot of what they were going for right there. Was Pharaoh actually initiated onto Pebbles in the background. I believe he was running into Portal Key in, but he got caught by the Wrath of the Pharaoh in the background. And if it wasn't for that, you know, maybe Pebbles would have followed up with Bubbles there, and maybe Hag would have died instantly, and that would have worked a lot better for Complexity. So definitely credits due to Limp right there.
For sure.
On that Pharaoh.
We do see Barbed Armor almost finished on, well, not almost finished, but being built up on Limp. I don't know if he has any other components for it right now. It's possible, but either way, against the Torture, it is very, very powerful.
On Pharaoh in general, it just seems like it's a go-to item, but yeah, especially against a hero like Torture. It is extra powerful even. The AoE damage coming out. Speaking of that, Shrunken Heads are being picked up. In fact, there you go. Wretched Hag picks up hers. Monkey King does eventually go his Shrunken Head.
Oh, man.
So yeah, it kind of seemed like you were just really going he was going the route of the Blessed Orb, Mighty Blade early on. He even said that with the Steam Boots. I mean, he just wanted to bulk up with stats. Now let's finish both those items.
See, now even when Sheepstick is picked up, they're going to have a really hard time locking him down. And with the two Shrunken Heads picked up on their primary carries for the game, Bear Idol as well, and a primarily magic damage team coming out from Complexity, it seems like tdM is beating to get the upper hand.
Yeah. There we go. They're going to jump in right here. Tampa's going to be targeted choice from Monkey King. He has a Shrunken Head up, going for Torture without Torture using his own Shrunken Head. They did kill the tower, actually, to Complexity, and they're going to fall back as a team. So, not the biggest deal in the world as Complexity gets the tower. They got what they came for, and they all 5 get out. Not many cooldowns used by any means, so.
Yeah, made Monkey King use up his Shrunken Head as well. Not that big of a deal, but I don't know. Was it Pharaoh there from the start able to initiate?
No.
Or was he coming in very late?
I'm not sure. I just saw Monkey King go in. Maybe expected Pharaoh to follow up, but yeah, he wasn't there.
Yeah, I saw he was there at the end, but it seemed like he was pretty far back. Maybe not able to get that follow-up. Maybe waiting for the Barbed Armor as well.
Now they are going to try to jump Torture right here. Level 16 Torture, of course, doesn't have the Shrunken Head just yet. Even if he did, a lot of damage coming out. The whole team, basically, of tdM minus Pharaoh was there, and down he goes. And now Trademark Esports, of course, they're going to push. Now, Haxorant does have buyback. He ain't going to be resurrected for 55+ seconds, but he does have buyback, so will Complexity maybe try to catch them off guard with that, with the port-in perhaps. He doesn't have a Homecoming Stone, though. I don't know if he could purchase it with the buyback, so maybe that's a difference maker.
Yeah, no Shrunken Head, and they didn't need to use anything major to get that pick off. They still have all their ultimates up, man.
Yeah, just a big pick from Trademark, so get the pick. Now move towards the top lane here. Gonna finish off, well, there's still the bottom secondary tower, but gonna finish off the top one here. That makes the bottom one, of course, the Soul one remaining now. And just, you just also look at the gold swing right there. If anything, it was very even, but just like that, Torture is dead. 2 towers later, you all of a sudden have a 4,400 gold lead now for Trademark here, as well as boost a little bit of experience.
Complexity was pretty even, but they had a 4,000 experience lead or 4,000? They had a lead for a while anyway by a bit. I mean, it wasn't substantial by any means, but I talked about how, okay, this is the point in the game where I want to see them try to make a play or try to close it out to the best of their ability. The longer this goes on, the more and more grim it looks.
Then Torture is back up now, of course, and still farming very well. 410 gold per minute now. You got your Hag and Monkey King, though. Both are definitely heroes that will scale pretty well into that late game stage. And they are up there on that charts themselves, 450 and about 436. So, Complexity's window's definitely closing somewhat here.
They both scale very well into that late game. They're both heroes with a lot of built-in mobility, a lot of chase-down potential. So that's something also to keep in mind is you have less heroes maybe fleeing from the fight from them, just barely surviving, recouping, and conserving their resources. I mean, when you have a Monkey King and a Hag, the chase-down is made pretty easy.
Yeah. Well, Complexity grouping up again here at the bottom lane. Yeah, not going to push, though. Doesn't look like it. No, they are going to fall back for now. Double damage rune is going to be bottled up by Pebbles, however. He was spotted doing it. Fitzky just placed a recent award aside here, so getting that information at least. But now Complexity kind of just doing some jungle creeps. They might still push bottom with this. It looks like they're actually going to head back towards middle now. Their top and middle is being pushed in, so got to definitely respond to that here.
Yeah, tdM just taking control of the map a lot more, farming more of it, utilizing the resources a lot better at this point, having the advantage.
Yeah, the Soul's Bulwark now on Ophelia as well. Ratchet Dad gonna jump in right here, actually. Gonna take that Song of the Sea in response, though. Shrunken Head's going up. The Bat Blast used on a Glacius, missing the Sono Scream, though. Glacius is gonna survive right now. Oh, the red power throw comes through, snipes him down. That's got to be frustrating for Franzi. Pebbles is here nearby. He is going to go for Ophelia action. The Minotaur is not close enough. He steals the Illusion Rune. He has that double damage on. Ophelia's touch going to come out. The supporting cast is here, though. And minus on Ophelia will end up falling. They're also going to look to take out the minions here. And they should get all of them, it looks like. So that's definitely a better response from Complexity, at least. Now we'll see if they do push here.
Yeah, and they killed up all the creeps. I mean, that greatly mitigates Ophelia's effectiveness. The heal's down even once she revives here. Bat Blast is down. Big.
Yeah, Bat Blast is down, and that barely didn't even get a kill.
Right.
Or almost didn't get a kill, at least on Glacius.
Yeah, Fitzky's excellent red power throw there, and there was a rocket coming in from Limp as well, but still, excellent response staged, and I like that they're making pressure happen. Double damage on Pebbles, they have to play back here. Will they go for something like Kongor with Bat Blast being down?
No Ophelia minions, Bat Blast being down. They're
pressuring the base. I can respect that. I've talked about giving their lineup. I want to see them try to close the game out. Barbed Armor now on Pharaoh, though, going to make this pretty difficult. A lot of damage onto that middle tower.
Here we go, right to the Pharaoh, catches Torture right there. The Shuriken coming up. There's the Barbed Armor. 0 follow-up, though, coming out as a result. And Torture now on the run. Hellflower on to Tempest in the meantime. He should be fine for now. Will Complexity look to go back in? Blink in. No, the Slug of the Sea coming out right there. The chain reaction is going to miss, but the jumping from Pebbles and Wretched Act will be bursted down. She cannot buy back. Complexity has a big opening right here now. Monkey King joining the fight, though. He's doing his Monkey King thing, jumping around. Heavily Voltage down. The Tempest ultimate locking out Ophelia. Monkey King, though. Ophelia's going to fall right here. Monkey King does have the Shrunken Head up. Barbed Armor is up again by Pharaoh. They are going to take out Glacius right there. Now the chase is on. Torture gets pushed out of the Mummy Walls. He'll screwed himself right there with the Mummy Walls. Tempest now gone on. Monkey King will fall right there, and now Pharaoh's on the run. Complexity is coming out on top of this fight, it looks like. Aluna random power throw. Just trying to hold them off, but they should be able to get the tower now. Pebble says, screwed up. Go Pulse in the wall, baby. Takes out Aluna. Hat trick for Beacon right there. And here comes the base push.
Yeah, Monkey King can't buy back at this point. I mean, he can, but is he going to be able to hold it off? I mean, they have so many... Actually, no stun for Tempest.
He does. Here we go. He's going for the kill Torture at least. There's our Ring of Sorcery, though. Giving enough mana to Haxor. They're going to turn it on to Monkey King. And Noob G will fall. Another Genocide in a sense. Down goes the tower. The melee racks definitely fall. Another buyback. Monkey King buys back again. They value these melee racks that much right there. He goes back in. They should save it as a result. Oh, will they actually go back in here on the Legion side? He has a Null Stone. It's not worth it.
I wouldn't do it. I mean, they're really low on resources.
Oh, and they waited too long. They waited too long. Now here's the chase. Wretched Ag coming in. Poured out from Tempest. Stalagmite's not going to hit right there. Torture is in a lot of trouble. He should end up falling. Bubbles on the run now. He's going to be Hellflower, though. Can he actually get away? He has Shell Surf, everything else. Portal Key, maybe. There's a takeover. There's the Portal Key. And there's the Shell Surf. So it does sacrifice Torture in the end. They didn't get the melee racks.
Right, and the fact that they killed Torture in the end was nice. I thought for sure Complexity was going to back up. I said he wasn't going to buy back because at first I was looking like, okay, they have stuns up. If he buys back, he's just going to die. Still, the double buyback, you might be a little bit questionable, but saving those racks, it's something that they consider to be worth it, and I can definitely see that against Complexity's team. And right now, because of all that, because of driving them back, they're going to take the Kongor.
Yeah. Man, it's just momentum swings for both teams right there big time. It seemed like Complexity finally found a hole. They got a Genocide, for Christ's sake. They were pounding on the base, but, I mean, again, the positive out of this ultimate still for Complexity is they did get 2 buybacks to be used on Monkey King. So, yeah, being out of buybacks there, that can no doubt play a role. But there's the Kongor kill, and he does have a token of life now.
And yeah, I was going to say before, excellent play by Haxor in that middle fight to start things off. He got hooked by the Barbed Armor Pharaoh, didn't use any of his spells, held them all back, positioned himself really well up that cliff, sort of danced around for a bit. I think his positioning played a big role in that fight as well, on top of the huge ultimate coming out from Moon Meander.
Yeah. Ooh, Torture is able to finish a sheep stick as he comes back up, though. Moon Meander has taken over the top farm in the game for his team, at least, by the way. He's up there with the best of the best overall. Speaking of him, 3,800 gold now saved up. Maybe that Shrunken Head in the works for him. Again, you still have both a Pharaoh and a Skeleton King Ophelia here that can come into play if he goes for that Shrunken Head. So, still probably will, though, yeah. It is still good to have, of course. Yeah, he has made some nice ultimates even without it, though.
Well, yeah, still without it, there's just that many more things that can interrupt you. It's just nice little insurance.
Yeah.
We'll have to see, though. I mean...
Huh. They're valuing the Nullstone over here on tdM because Wretched Act also going for a Nullstone, it looks like. She just finished a Sustainer, unless she sold it. I don't think she... Maybe she did, actually. Okay, she would have finished a Nullstone, I would think. Now they're trolling or...
Has the goal for it. He might wind up going a different route here. Let's see.
Legion team Complexity is pushing top here. Obviously Monkey King's somewhat nearby, but there's no really vision on him, so he'll be fine. Has another 1,800 gold saved up, actually. So even
the
with
only
those
other routes, like you could go another utility item in a Hellflower or a Sheep Stick as well, I guess. I mean, there's an All-Stone which would help against the Skeleton King, but probably not worth it to go that route. But yeah, I mean, if he's not going to go a Sheep Stick or a Hellflower, I'm pretty much looking at that Shrunken. Maybe Restoration Stone for big plays, but
yeah.
Probably.
Well, Complexity's going to fall back. Doesn't want to get involved in a fight right there. Double damage is on Pebbles. He has that Demonic Breastplate finished. Hastern going to be bottled up on top of that. So he has the possibility of DD Haste here. That's a scary combo, of course, to be coming out. But
for sure.
Doesn't look like they're gonna run
So
into
yeah,
them.
just a 30-second window here. They're moving into the woods. They know how powerful that is. Do not have Vision of Monkey King sitting back farming neutrals now up to 430 GPM. Uh, Still no new major pickups since that Nullstone and Shrunken Head, which seemed to come out a while ago. I mean, obviously due to having to use 2 buybacks.
Yeah, that definitely hurts the resources quite a bit.
Yeah.
Tempest still sitting on all that gold, 4,300 now and counting. So he is pulling up quite a bit. Monkey King gonna jump in right here. Torture, the target choice for now. Heavenly Vault's gonna be placed down there. Wanjin Slam right there. Hellflower is activated, but Torture falling back in time now. Hey, there's his Shrunken Head. They're gonna go for a turn on a Monkey King right here. There's the count for the Song of the Sea. Monkey King may be locked down. The chain reaction's coming out. He will fall. Has that token. Can they follow up enough? Pebbles still sitting off to the side. Pebbles, will he jump? Not just yet. Barry out going off right there from tdM. So no follow-up just yet. Pebbles still has that haste. Oh no, he actually activated it right here. So they are going to push this tower, though, and tdM will just let it happen now. The smart move there, definitely not worth the risk. So it does end up being a tower kill. They got the token used.
Yeah, big pick off, well timed, and Haxor in there. He could have used his sheep stick if he wanted to initially to try to take out Monkey King. You know, showing excellent, I guess, reserve and not having to use it. If Monkey came back up and they had the positioning to pursue, they could have got a double kill on him. But yeah, there's the sheep stick for Moon Meander. I do like the fact that he saved it.
Yeah.
Just very perceptive play.
Yeah. Not wanting to be overzealous by any means, so cleaning up some ancients. You mentioned the sheep stick on Moon Meander now, so another crowd control item. The Hellflower is coming up here on Bubbles. So yeah, that is adding up here quite a bit. In the Legion's favor. Retrodac just bought something. What did
Nullstone.
she buy?
She
Was it
bought
also
Nullstone.
finished? Okay.
It's going to help with the Hellflowers.
Yep.
Uh-oh. There's a pause. I hope nothing wrong.
Yeah. Getting
Oh.
spammed, apparently. That'll happen. Oh, Moo Meander. Oh, Moo Meander. Him and his fanboys and haters he has to deal with. Must be a tough life,
well,
right?
if you're that popular, you're just gonna have that many more haters as well, man.
Yep.
It's just when you're in the eye of the crowd.
Oh, so true. Ophelia, Monkey King, and Pharaoh running down here at the bottom lane right now. But it doesn't look like we're going to run into anyone, at least just yet. Pebbles, does he have gold pulled up? He has 2,100 here, actually. So he's saving up a little bit himself.
Yeah, I mean, another close game here. I talked about how I liked tdM's lineup a little more as the late game approach. They are getting a bunch of sheep sticks here, a bunch of disabled items like Hellflowers for the Legion team. So definitely still having a window to win the game. It's looking really close here. We might be seeing a game 3, man. Complexity's been putting up a fight, and the fact that they got Monkey King to use both of his buybacks is honestly the biggest thing they have going for them.
Yeah. You know, the series has been interesting so far. It's obviously been entertaining in the end. You know, when you have two teams like this, it's just bound to happen. But I will say this hasn't been the most refined, the best play ever. We've definitely been seeing a lot of that from both these teams, even lately, in the Stay Green, of course, and whatnot. Both teams have had their fair share of mistakes, both in Game 1 and now here in the second game. But again, it's going to happen. Teams are going to make mistakes. It's bound to happen. But yeah, you're right. This game, Complexity obviously now in the kind of that better spot. But yeah, you got to kind of have that in the back of your head. Complexity, just like Trademark, has had their mistakes of jumping in at not appropriate times and getting caught out. So we'll see.
But
though.
by the same token, well, okay, Game 1 especially, I thought that the no Shrunken Head was a pretty big misplay. Otherwise, in this game 2 here, I mean, if everyone just played totally perfect, I mean, everyone would have basically God vision of the map and would be robots, So mistakes happen. That's how teams win and lose. So as much as we like to point them out, it's still just part of playing the game.
It is, yeah. That Portakion Torture, obviously big. And in fact, are they going to maybe go right here? No. That's huge, though, to follow up Pebbles or vice versa, even. Just get the jump himself, especially with that sheep stick. But we talked about those null stones. Granted, Torture can take care of that, obviously.
And it's not only about getting the jump himself, it's also about the fact, well, yeah, it is, but it's about the fact that when he approaches a fight, he can stay back far enough to where he doesn't have to get initiated on by the Hellflowers of the enemy team. He's got a lot more insurance now that he has the mobility.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're beginning to see the Frostful Skull being built up, please. If not, I'm just going to feel horrible about myself. That's
going to be a Staff of the Master into a Restoration Stone. I don't know. It's going to be a Frostful Skull.
Restoration Stone.
Monkey King, Restoration Stone.
No, I don't even
What's
think
wrong
that.
We do see Pebbles right here in the front lines. He's looking to go in. Oh, geez. They're both teams really spreading right here. Kind of Pebbles just sitting in the front again and not really too worried. Monkey King kind of going in there, but I think he might have even tried to get Pebbles. They're just a little bit too far away.
Yeah, excellent posturing there by BKid. Just out of reach of the fort.
Top lane is taking a little bit of pressure. In the meantime, Bubbles jumps in. Kelfo going to be applied. Hellflower and a Monkey King as well, but they're just too far away. Shrunken Head was activated on side, though, playing the Wretched Hag, so they do at least bait that out. And they're maybe just going to kind of reset things here, knowing that that'll be on cooldown, of course, for another 45 seconds or so. Smart little bait coming out right there for Complexity. Can they take advantage here now? That's a question.
Well, they know Kelpfield is down. I'm curious to see if tdM might be a little bit more bold here.
Yeah, so it's a Shrunken Head used, but yeah, you're right. The Kelpfield was also used. Oh, there's an Nullstone deactivated. Monkey King doesn't have that for the time being. Barrier going off right there. Pebbles going to be jumped in. Here we go. Monkey King starting the route. There's the Bat Blast, and holy crap. Pebbles just melts to the ground. Hacks right in the front lines, hit the Shrunken Head up, but a great spread again from Trademark Esports. Sheepstick on a Monkey King. Chain Reactions connects. B-Kid did buy back, by the way, but he's nowhere nearby. He is still back at base. He pours to the secondary tower. Anyways, Torture now being chased down. He's on the run. Going to be tapping for it. Tapping it back in. Torture is going to end up dropping right here. He's just going to get thrown all over the place. Tavis being gone on now in the meantime. Has an ultimate, but at this time would just be way too late. He's going to be able to fall right here. Glacius went down as well. And Trademark Esports, everyone still alive. No buybacks used on their part.
Yeah, I like what Moon Meander was trying to do in that fight. Obviously, with the tablet and the Hellflower, he's using the tablet to break the Nullstone and then using the Hellflower to prevent Monkey King from getting his Shrunken Head off. But that time, Nuke G was quick. They got right on in there. Just excellent positioning across the board. Obviously, a lot easier when you're in the base, having the defender's advantage, but still just really tight play.
Yeah. That was, again, you're right, a very, very, very solid play from Trademark Esports as far as how they responded to the initiation from Complexity. And well, now Complexity, you know, again, still going to be knocking on the door, trying to break into the base here. But we are 42.5 minutes in. Monkey King is going to be finishing that Frosso Skull. We've got to think in the near future. Again, he doesn't have a buyback, so that is still one thing Complexity will have for the rest of this game now, as they've had for even a while here. Knowing that Monkey King doesn't have a buyback, so getting a good pick on him, of course, would be key. But
yeah, he'll have 3k HP at least.
Yeah.
Try to make that difficult. The Nullstone to make the initiation hard as well, and his Shrunken Head not be forgotten. So yeah, no buyback, but that's if you can bring down the beast in the first place. On top of the Storm Spirit, Ophelia.
Oh, yeah, there's that. There's the good old Storm Spirit Ophelia here. So Minut's doing well for his team there. Wretched Hag is pushing the top lane. Needs to be a little bit careful though. Maybe that jump going to be coming up and has an Nullstone, but there we go. The Stalagmite's taking off the Nullstone. He did chuck Wretched Hag, the tap it away, and Hag will be fine. He didn't chuck himself right there. He chucked the Hag. It didn't matter, though. I mean, with the Shrunken Head especially, probably would have survived, honestly. Unless they maybe had, I don't think they had any other support.
Right. I mean, Riser, I should say, was coming in, but, you know, I actually said excellent play by Moon there on the bubbles, but obviously Riser's playing the bubbles this game.
Oh, were you? Okay.
Yeah. Goes to show you how
I
feel you with that role.
Didn't catch it either. Yeah, he's so used to Moon playing the bubbles and Riser on that Tempest. But yeah, so at the beginning they did change that up here in this game. So Complexity kind of in the Hellborn jungle here, maybe trying to get a lucky pick. Of course, that's definitely what they're going to try to be banking on at this point. But tdM being the smart team that they are, not going to let that happen at least for now. You got Hag, God, that Shrunken, Hellflower, and Nullstone. She's on her way to another item. At this point, this is getting to the point of you start going something like that Savage Mace now on Wretched Hag here. Getting that right-click damage threat here.
Yeah, I think a Sheepstick would be another very, very viable option as well.
Currently just sitting in the base. tdM playing very defensive here, actually. The lanes are, they only have the bottom one kind of pushed out. The middle and the top are being pushed back. And actually, they're pushed out the middle here. Oh, I was thinking maybe Complexity was going to go, but not everyone's here. And they don't have Torture, especially. Yeah, without Torture. Pretty big risk. Axerin is going to join him, though.
Well, I guess there's not too many wards coming out defensively from tdM there. I'd say I kind of feel like they need a bound eye at this point on complexity, just because the game pretty much all comes down to being able to pick off the Monkey King at this point and then overwhelm them. And you know, at the rate they're growing, it's going to get harder and harder. We knew that the lineup had a window, and thus they were trying to pressure it, make these fights happen. tdM has been holding off, so
yeah. Frost's Skull finished on Monkey King. Yeah. Oh, not 3,000 lives. It's only 2934.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Very close though. Okay, complexity. You know, again, Congress up. Do they go for that? Try to ninja that. They just go into the base here. Keep waiting for that pick. The longer you wait, though, the more farm, the more items we see on the Hellborn team. Tough decision here for complexity to try to make. As we are now at 46 minutes.
I feel like the game kind of makes it for them, sort of forces them into this position. I do like what they're doing. I do like the pressure they're trying to apply. It is... I'm going to be keeping my eye on Moonmander here on this Tempest for those big plays.
Here we go. This is definitely a huge push right here. Could even be the whole thing. Monkey King going in. Hellfires apply to Pebbles. See the Bear Idol, of course, up, but no follow-up initiation. Everyone is here. 5 versus 5. Elementals in the front. Just going to be bursted down, though. So again, complexity, especially because after last game, we really learned his lesson not to get way overzealous here into the base. And hell, that last game he even had a token of life. So yeah, definitely wouldn't want to get too crazy here. But you do have to try to find that opening somehow against a very good team. Though it is difficult, and obviously Trademark is that.
Yeah, well, this push is obviously a very different story from the previous game. They're actually down, and it's you know, it's going to take exceptional play from them to surmount this obstacle.
Just a rinse and repeat now. Just get the creep waves. The Barrier Idol's up in 8 seconds. They'll probably wait for the next creep wave here. I'm also curious now if tdM, yeah, if they might want to look to go in. Okay, Null Stone's deactivated right there, so at least they don't have to deal with that for another 15 seconds. It's going to be up, though. It's a fairly shorter on cooldown. But here comes the next creep wave again. Barrier Idol is up. They have pretty much everything else here to use as far as ulti cooldowns, item cooldowns. Both teams really do. So are they going to use a Barrier Idol here, maybe? I'm not going to go for it, but here we go. Ratchet tired of waiting, apparently. Tapped away on Pebbles, and she would have ported back, so. Being a little bit, trying to bait something out there for complexity.
Yeah,
but
that was sneaky, man.
Yeah, that would have been beautiful. Didn't work, though.
They can pretty much do that as often as they want.
Yeah, that was actually pretty hilarious. They can. I mean, it's such a short cooldown.
Like, yeah, and Wretched Hag just has the mobility to get right back in the fight. You know, unless he was to get purged off, that would be that would be really embarrassing. Actually.
Yeah, all of a sudden a Null Fireblade shows up.
Gets lost over.
Oops.
They're applying pressure to these melee barracks, though, man. It's getting whittled down. They're
true.
Being more proactive about clearing out the creep wave now, though, as they obviously have the team to do between really a lot of their heroes, the Pharaoh and the Luna especially, though.
Well, Luna actually just finished a tablet right there. So Fitsuke buying enough time to get another good utility item. And it looks like Trademark Esports realizing that Complexity has decided to go into retreat mode here. So they are going to push out the creep wave and now check Kongor most likely, just to be safe. Of course, there is no Kongor being attempted, but both teams now in that vicinity, so playing the safe game. Did Pebbles bottle something? Yes, he has an invis.
Look at the property warding coming out, too. With that bound eye, they're scouting out the ward that Franzi had placed aggressively on the hill outside the base. And really taking map control here, forcing Complexity on their heels.
The top and the middle kind of pushed in their favor, and so yeah, tdM is going to try to get some damage on a Kongor at least. Maybe try to bait Complexity into a bad situation, if anything. So I don't think they're going to commit to this really. You got Pharaoh way up here still. You have a Luna off to the side. Ophelia, excuse me. Where is Ophelia's minions, by the way? Does she even have any right now? I don't see any Ophelia minions.
Hellborn takes down a Legion
Oh, there's one
tower.
way up here, a Vagabond leader, going to the top lane. Joining in on the push.
Look, I mean, the creeps are killing the tower. That's actually really smart by Minot. It's going to force them back, and when they're forced back, they're going to go back into the Kongor pit. That's actually really smart. Oh, he's not really watching it there.
Vagabond leader dead. Yeah, as you suicides it. Oh, the Invis Pebbles trying to get a pick, but again, not happening, so he ports back. And yeah, they'll have to address that top lane. Pebbles, by the way, has another 3,400 gold. And the Shrunken Head, definitely an ideal pickup for him probably, but Warhammer onto Wretched Hag, so likely going that Savage Mace route now.
Right. I mean, the gold graph is increasing in their favor. They're taking back over the Kongor area. The illusion.
Yeah, Torture baits the Hellflower.
Mm-hmm.
But not the biggest deal. Shorter on cooldown. Again, guys, as you see on your screen even, I mean, this is game 2 here. Got Trademark up 1-0 over Complexity. Definitely in the better spot right now here in game 2. And if this stands, going to Thailand, but Complexity trying to force that 3rd game. Yeah, gonna try to wait with this Torture once again, maybe. That's not
well, I mean, they don't know that this ward is here. I'm looking for counter vision, and they just don't have any. So they're staying right on the ward by Fitsky. Still, tdM is playing back.
Yeah, the winner of this, again, joining Stay Green, going to Thailand, representing North America, Europe. And on top of that, competing for that $60,000 prize pool. So, I mean, really, in a sense, not only is that once-in-a-lifetime opportunity in the line of, you know, going all-paid expense trip to an awesome country, but you also get to play for a lot of money and put yourselves in a good spot. Now, you know, of course, there's always the debate of what are we going to expect, what to expect really out of these Thai teams, out of the Southeast Asia scene in general, you know, all these teams from around the world, but safe to, you can kind of assume that North American European representation should at least be up there, if not favored.
Yeah, you know, what the common criticism is that the Asian region has a skill. They have a surplus of skill, actually. The hero micro, the capacity, a really high skill capacity in general, and what they seem to lack in is just being behind. They might not watch as many of the matches from the North American EU scene, and we feel like a lot of times that the North American EU scene has a stronger, just metagame, a stronger strategy in general.
52 minutes in now. Having to fill a lot of passive time here, unfortunately. But again, in moments like this, it's understandable between these two teams. Just do not want to make that critical mistake. Keep going back to this Monkey King specifically. I mean, he is out of buybacks. So he's just been spending his gold ASAP. He now has a Firebrand picked up on top of that Frostful Skull, so Geometer's being actually in the work. So yeah, passing up the Assassin Shroud route, actually. Not going the Assassin's into Genjiro here.
Going the Geometer. Yeah.
There's the okay, Savage Mace is finished by Wretched Hag. He also has enough for a buyback after, so that's good for him. Here we go again. Double damage Pebbles. Is this it? Barrier Idol activated. This could be. Here we go. On to the melee racks. There's that jump of the Hellboy team. Hellflare on to Pebbles. Getting the trigger down. Bat Blast hits. He's being nuked down. And Pebbles will ultimately fall. The Glacial downpour off to the side. Just not enough. Tempest now being locked on. He gets an ultimate off. A pretty damn good one at that. Duration pretty much full, but he'll fall shortly after. Pebbles is still dead. Double tap for Zai right there. Zai picking up the hat trick in the meantime. He's going to go for the quad kill. He gets the quad kill. Well, he's going to go for the Annihilation, of course. Bubbles on the run. Wretched Hag is chasing. Can he actually get the Annihilation right here? Has that blink. Can't get the Hellflower off, though. There's the shelter from Bubbles, and he will survive. But nonetheless, a quad kill for Zai. That could have been a game-winning fight right there. You see the top base. The melee racks are going to fall just to the creeps alone, as Ophelia actually has her creeps up there. So. And they're going to get Kongor on top of that.
Yeah, free melee barracks plus Kongor plus token right now. You can't ask for much more than that.
The hole is deep here for Complexity now.
Goes down.
It's, again, understandably not going to concede yet because of what's on the line, but yeah, a comeback would, well, a lot of it would come down to tdM, just poor execution, and that very rarely happens, of course, so.
Yeah, speaking of increased execution, now they have a Hellflower on Pharaoh on top of his, the Wrath of the Pharaoh ultimate. So yeah, this is going to be... We saw right there, they had a double damage rune. I mean, Pebbles tried to make something happen. They didn't even hesitate, honestly. Sometimes you see teams wait a little bit to be like, oh, how are we going to initiate this? They just jumped on him instantly when he went up for that hit.
Yeah, he couldn't get the Shrunken Head off. He got Hellflower right off the bat. He got it off like when he had 100 life, but yeah, that time he's just dead anyway, so... Yeah. Wasn't able to. Good lockdown for tdM. You're right. The hesitation wasn't there, and that paid off for their favor.
And how about that ulti from Moon Meander? Just still, by then, Pebbles is already locked down. So they don't have the damage to contend with tdM inside their base right now. So even despite the huge ultimate, just not able to make anything happen.
Complexity is pushing back here at the secondary tower, actually. They're not even waiting for the base. They actually want to protect this tower. There's the initiation on it. Torture right at the Pharaoh coming in. Pebbles jumps in, but Torture just melts to the ground. Storm Spirit on the Pharaoh after he jumped in. Pebbles is going to drop right here. And now I expect to see the G. I mean, that was a case of complexity. They knew. Good game, well played. Good luck in Thailand, says B-Kid. That will officially do it. Trademark Esports are going to be joining Stay Green in Thailand to represent the North American European region, Emperor. So it is official. What a series to finish off these qualifiers on. In the end, it's, let's be honest, you know, a lot of people expected these two teams, but
yeah,
it wasn't even the easy trek that a lot of people gave them at the same time. It was difficult, but it is Stay Green and Trademark in the end. So.
No, and I have a lot of respect for complexity now. I honestly do expect to see them. They're a top contender for any of these tournaments coming up now. They've shown that they are revitalized. They're working very well with Riser in the mix. And at this point, I mean, I just expect to see a lot more great things from them.
Yeah, that was, again, a great finish there to the series. Obviously, you know, that was just one of those games that definitely passivity took its course there near the end, again, understandably. But complexity, they tried to push the issue there at the end. It was just too much behind, though. Great play, of course, from Trademark Esports, though. Got to look at the positives on their side. It was all around well played. The quad kill from Eshadag at the end, coming out from Zai, of course, has been a factor for them for so long. There you go. Again, that's it. So Trademark and Stay Green going to be going. Again, a lot of people maybe expected it, but like I really did stress, you're right. I mean, complexity especially, they gave them a challenge. How about TT Esports yesterday, man? I mean, if it wasn't for Trademark beating TT Esports yesterday, then of course this would have been completely different today. So, quite the events we've had here for the qualifiers, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But it is coming to a finish here.
Yeah, and also, you know, TDM, man, they've were in a little bit of a slump lately, according to some people, having lost a lot of their past scrims and games, not having their best performance in the past qualifier, and they showed that they're not really phased by it. They just took it hard, 2-0.
Yeah, you're right. And again, I was definitely interested, curious kind of with that, you know, with yesterday especially, like I said, even going into the series here, with them going up against CT Esports, squeaking through, honestly, with a victory of 2-1 in a very difficult, long series. And the other side of the spectrum, complexity just stomped over Q Squad. So it's like, again, you kind of think they have to hold the momentum. Trademark had to fight strong, but again, it doesn't seem like that really phased them. They had a new opponent today, a new day, and they really brought it to them. So, again, a lot of fun to cast. Hopefully you guys were entertained. Definitely has been a fun event overall. Again, with this GSL, big shout out to Garino, by the way, with that said, for putting all this together and allowing us to participate in with that set even. So it's going to be a lot of fun. As far as the main event goes, again, that takes place March 30th and 31st, I believe, are the dates for the main event. Honcast is expected to be there, so of course we're going to have a lot of fun there, I'm sure, too, and expect some awesome coverage from that event and what's going to be an amazing event. More information we'll definitely have for you guys as it comes, of course, closer to the event. So not a whole lot right now, but obviously, within the weeks to come, we'll have definitely start getting brackets and whatnot for you. So that will be exciting stuff. But now, you know, as far as more immediate things to happen, we resume coverage this Saturday, really. Well, we are going to be here tomorrow. We are doing our weekly Friday podcast. Emperor, I believe you might not be able to join us tomorrow, but we are still going to have a podcast show. So.
Yep. That's sad. Last week was fun. The previous week was fun. But yeah, oh well.
Every Friday, though, expect those podcasts to be happening. We've definitely had a lot of fun with those and continue to do so. But Saturday, cycle number 7 kicks off our On Tour. Very, very important. Again, we of course are getting down to the nitty-gritty here. It's getting down to the end. We're going to start getting a great idea now, if not already, of where teams are going to end up in the standings and how that's going to lead, obviously, into the Han Tour Grand Finals, which, of course, are going to be in Las Vegas in mid-April. So still plenty of fun coming at you. And then the following week, this next week, that's when the whole Sound Blaster Heroes League main event starts, that $30,000 prize pool, an online event. So, Emperor, man, we still got plenty of stuff coming up, right? So,
yep.
There sure is. All right, so to wrap things up, though, for today, I mean, do you have any final words from yourself, Emperor, for the viewers out there?
No, it was just a lot of impressive play, man. Really, the game said it all.
It's well played by both teams, definitely was. And again, an entertaining series as expected. So GG well played. Again, it's going to be Trademark Esports and Stay Green going to Thailand as a result of the victories here today. But there is still plenty of other events from the Sound Blaster Heroes League to the Haunter, of course, continuing. So definitely stick around to Honcast.com. With that said, for today, ladies and gentlemen, going to be wrapping things up. Definitely tune in tomorrow for our podcast. That is always every Friday. It's going to be at 11:30 a.m. Pacific. It's 2:30 p.m. Eastern. I want to say that's 20:30 Central European time, I believe. So definitely tune in then. We'll have, some interviews most likely, perhaps even have tdM here. We'll go over, obviously, results in general. And then we'll lead us into the weekend with Han Tour kicking off against cycle number 7. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, wrapping things up, Honcast.com, HonTour.com. Shout out to everyone tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow on the podcast. Congrats once more time to Trademark Esports. Have a good night, guys.